Hey, what's up everybody? It's your boy Karpo here, back again with another Borderlands 3 video. And in today's video, we're going to be going over Zane's skill tree and all of his abilities. But as always, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you like the video, smash that thumbs up button, leave a comment down below, and stay up to date for more Borderlands 3 videos. Now let's get started. Now, Zane has 3 skill trees that we're going to go over today. We have the Undercover with the Barrier Action skill. We also have the Hitman skill tree with the Sentinel action skill, and last but not least, we have the Double Agent with the Digiclone action skill. So starting off, let's go over the Undercover. We have the Barrier action skill. Drop a deployable barrier that blocks incoming projectile. Zane and his allies can shoot through the barrier, dealing increased gun damage. Pressing the action skill button or the grenade button while barrier is active picks up and holds the barrier, but the size and the bonuses are decreased. Pretty cool. Alright, so for his abilities, we have Adrenaline. Zane gains increased action skill cooldown rate. This bonus is based on the amount of shields he has. The more percent full, the greater the bonus. Next up, we have Hardy Stock. Zane gains increased maximum shield capacity. His next ability, Ready for Action, Zane gains improved shield recharge rate and shield recharge delay. Next up, we have Brain Freeze. Whenever Zane scores a critical hit on an enemy, there is a chance they will be slowed. Next up, we have another passive ability, Stiff Upper Lip. Whenever Zane is damaged, he gains a damage resistance against that damage type. Next up, Rise to the Occasion. Zane gains health regeneration. The longer his shields is up, the higher the bonus. While Zane's shields are full, he does not receive any health regeneration. Next up, Confident Competence. While Zane's shields are active, he gains increased gun damage and accuracy. This bonus is based on the amount of shield he has. The more percent full, the greater the bonus. Next up, we have a really expensive jacket. Elemental damage over time effects applied to Zane have reduced duration. Next up, we have Best Served Cold. Kill skill. Whenever Zane kills an enemy, they create a Cairo Nova, dealing damage to all nearby enemies. This skill has a short cooldown. Next up, Fertility Belt. Zane gains resistance to non-elemental damage. Kill skill. All elemental damage Zane takes is converted to non-elemental damage. Next up, Refreshment. Whenever Zane damages a frozen enemy with his weapon, he gains some of that damage back as health. Then we have Calm Cool Collected. When Zane freezes an enemy, his shield instantly begins recharging. If Zane's shields are already full, he regenerates health for a few seconds. If Zane's health is already full, his action skill, cooldowns, and durations are all immediately reset. Pretty cool. Next up, Nerves of Steel. Zane gains increased accuracy and handling. The longer his shield is full, the greater the bonus. Now for some of the passive abilities. But before that, we have Distribution to Augment. Zane Barrier gains the effects of his current equipped shield mod. Additionally, shield effects are applied to all allies near the barrier. Bonuses to Zane are also reduced. Now for the roundoff, and this will be the lovely Augment mods. Another one, Charge Relay. Whenever Zane or his ally touches the barrier, they gain increased movement speed and fire rate for a few seconds. We have also Nanites or some shite. Zane and his allies gain health regeneration, increase reload speed, and greatly improve shield recharge delay while near the barrier. The lower their health, the more health is regenerated. Next up, we have Redistribution. Zane and his allies near the barrier gain increased gun damage for a few seconds after the barrier takes damage. And then we have 2 more to go. We have All-Rounder Augment. Zane and Barrier becomes a dome covering all sides. And then last but not least, a Deterrence Field. Enemies that touches the barrier take shock damage and they are staggered. Now we have some of our 3 abilities that is always going to be there. We have Digiclone action skill. Spawn a Digiclone of Zane. This clone stays in place but distracts and fires at enemies. Pressing the action skill button or the grenade button while the clone is active causes Zane and the clone to swap places. Sentinel action seal. Send into battle an automated sentinel drone that continually flies through the environment and attacks enemy with its machine gun. Pressing the action skill button or the grenade button while sentinel is active causes it to attack the enemy under Zane's crosshair, if any. And if last but not least, we have Almighty Ordnance. Hold down the action skill button or the grenade button while sentinel is deployed to paint and target area. Sentinel fires a barrage of missiles on the area, and if the enemy is killed, Almighty Ordnance duration is reset. This can only be used once per action skill use. Now for our next skill tree, we have the Hitman class. First off, we have Violent Speed. Kill skill. After killing an enemy, Zane gains increased movement speed for a few seconds. Next up, we have Cold War. Zane gains increased weapon swap speed. The next shot fired after swapping weapons deal bonus Karpo damage. Next up, we have Violent Momentum. Zane gun damage is increased while moving. The quicker he moves, the greater the gun damage bonus. Then Cool Hand. Zane gains increased reload speed. Kill skill. After killing an enemy, Zane reload speed is increased for a few seconds. Next up, we have Drone Delivery Augment. Sentry will occasionally drop a free grenade based on your current grenade mod while attacking enemies. Now, next up, we also have this lovely mod. This one is called Salvation. Kill skill. After killing an enemy, Zane weapon gains lifesteal for a few seconds. We have Seeing Red. Activating an action skill automatically activates all of Zane kill skills. We also have Violent Violence. Kill skill. After killing an enemy, Zane gains increased fire rate for a few seconds. Next up, we have Playing Dirty. Kill skill. After killing an enemy, Zane next 5 shots all have a chance to fire an additional projectile. Pretty sweet. Next up, a Good Misfortune passive ability. Kill skill. Killing an enemy increases Zane action skill duration. This skill has diminishing returns. And then last but not least, we have Death Follow Close. All of Zane kill skill gain increased effects and durations. Now for some of Zane's augments. We have a Winter's Drone. Convert Sentinel primary weapons to Karpo damage. Next up, we have another augment. This one's a Bad Dose. Sentinel occasionally shoots out a beam of radiation that weakens enemies and buffs Zane. For every weakened enemy, Zane movement speed and fire rate are increased. Weakened enemies have decreased movement speed and attack speed. Next up, Boomsday. Sentinel adds a rocket pod to its primary weapons, allowing it to shoot rockets as well as machine guns. Next up, for the last two, we have Static Field. Sentinel emits a static field that sends a shock beam to nearby enemies, draining their shields and replenishing Zane's. And last but not least, we have one last augment, Almighty Ordnance. Holding down the action skill button or the grenade button while Sentinel is deployed paints a targeted area. Sentinel fires a missile barrage at that area, and if the enemy is killed, Almighty Ordnance duration is reset. This can only be used once per action skill. So that is our Hitman class tree, and we have one more class tree to go. That class tree is none other than Double Agent. The first mod is Synchronicity passive ability. Whenever one of Zane's action skills are active, he gains increased gun damage for each active action skill. Next up, we have Pro Munitions. Zane and his Digiclone gain increased magazine size. And next up, after that, we have Borrowed Time passive ability. Zane gains increased action skill duration for every active action skill. A Donnybrook kill skill. Whenever Zane kills an enemy, he and his Digiclone receive increased gun damage and gain health regeneration for a few seconds. Fractional Frags. The Digiclone throws a copy of Zane's current grenade mod. When it is first active, if the Digiclone is killed, it drops a free grenade. Kill skill. Killing an enemy while the Digiclone is active gives the clone a chance to also throw an additional grenade. Duct Tape mod. The first shot fired from Zane gun has a chance to also fire a grenade. The more grenade in his capacity, the higher the chance. Next up, we have another mod, Quick Breather. Whenever Zane swap places with his clone, his shield immediately begins recharging. Sounds pretty cool. Next up, Pocket Full of Grenades. Kill skill. After killing an enemy, Zane gains grenade regeneration for a few seconds. Old U. Press the action skill button or the grenade button during fight for your life if Digiclone is active to destroy the clone and immediately gain a second win with full health. Next up, we have Supersonic Man. Whenever one or more of Zane's action skills are active, he gains increased movement speed for each active action skill. Like a ghost, Zane and his Digiclone gain a chance to ignore bullets. This chance is increased for a few seconds after activating an action skill. This effect also stacks. Next up, we also have this lovely mod, a Boom Enhance. Whenever Zane summons his Digiclone, it consumes up to 3 grenades. For every grenade consumed, the Digiclone gains increased gun damage, max health, fire rate, and reload speed. Sounds like a pretty nice guy to have on your side. Next up, we have another mod. This mod is called Trick of the Light. Zane deals a bonus shock damage to enemies that aren't targeting him, so that's pretty cool. Double barrel augment. The clone is equipped with a copy of Zane's current weapon when activated. Swapping places with the clone causes Zane and his clone to gain increased gun damage, so more and more buffs. For the augments binary system, whenever Zane swaps places with his clone, Karpo Nova is triggered around Zane and his clone. Pretty cool. Next up, we have Schneider feud, I guess. Whenever the clone takes damage, Zane's shield is restored by a portion of that damage. I'm pretty sure I slaughtered that word. Doppelbanger augment. Hold down the action skill button or the grenade button to end the action skill early. When Zane's action skill is ended, the clone explodes, dealing fire damage to all nearby enemies. The more action skill time remaining, the greater the damage. Which one is real? Enemies are more likely to target the clone for a few seconds after it is summoned and after swapping places. And last but not least, digital distribution. If Zane takes health damage while the clone is active, a portion of that damage is shared to his clone instead. So there we have all 3 of Zane's skill trees and all of his abilities. And that's pretty much going to end it for this video. Once again, thank you for everybody for all your love and support. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe. And for everybody supporting the channel, thank you. I truly do appreciate it. And as always, I will be seeing y'all in the next one. Later.